pleasant day, and it's time for your Sunday Live program that ensures that you stay entertained and relaxed. It is time for MALOKO on My Media Prime. Hope you're having a good afternoon. You've been having a good weekend so far, so we are here to make it a lot better. I'm never alone. I have a Toxzik entertainer by my side as always. Hello, General Toxzik.
Bonjour Fake.
Bonjour.
Bon après-midi, bonsoir, partout où vous êtes dans le monde, parce que déjà vous savez c'est MALOKO. MALOKO est sur Facebook, n'oubliez surtout pas, si vous avez vos proches hors du pays qui ne peuvent pas atteindre nos réseaux, partez parce que c'est en live sur Facebook. MALOKO, c'est bien sûr le show comme Fake lui dit souvent, et aujourd'hui on va se divertir. Je vais pas aller très loin, on va aller droit au but.
Most definitely. On our lineup, we have a discovery. We make sure we tell you what has been trending on social media throughout the week. We have guests from different works of life. We also take you into our kitchens, and we check out what is glamorous this Sunday afternoon. So in essence, what we're telling you is don't miss out on any bit or piece of MALOKO. Let's roll with our very first music video for the day. It's a beautiful piece, so sit back, enjoy, and relax.
Isomandiri epenye na bongo na jayo busoba muna jengere okasawa na nidute ande sidemba kwese miso unyola bobe na isoni mamono kiseno wa osikome
Thank you very much for staying with us. And if you're just tuning in, you're watching MALOKO on My Media Prime. The show comes live all Sundays as from 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And as earlier on indicated, we have different segments for your viewing pleasure. One of the key segments we normally have in this program is what we call Kongosa. Yes, where we feature trending stories on social media, stories that have made a lot of waves on social media. And on our package this afternoon, we have some good and some really disturbing news. So we'd love for you to stay tuned, and you can always drop us your contribution, your take on whatever it is we shall be talking about on the program through the number you can find on your screen, or inquiries about our guests. So General Toxzik, there was a time when there was findings were made concerning so many worldwide celebrities that are known worldwide, and it was discovered that so many of their origins can be traced back to some really popular African countries like ours. Yes, so we've decided to take a look on our discovery page at some of these celebrities whose origins can be traced back to Africa, and mostly Cameroon.
Right.
You'd like to see that, right?
I would really like to see that.
Okay, so up next is our discovery page with Darling Gonde.
Hi there and welcome to Discovery. Today, let's celebrate 10 African American celebrities who have been able to trace back their origins from Africa. Number 1 on our list, Tiffany Haddish from Eritrea. Haddish was born in December 3rd, 1979, and she is a popular American actress, comedian, and author. After guest starring on several TV series, Haddish gained prominence with her role as Nikesha Williams on NBC sitcom. The girl strip star's application for an Eritrean ID got approved during her visit to the Horn of Africa nation to join in their Independence Day celebrations in May. And in May 2019, the American comedian and actress became a full citizen of Eritrea, the birthplace of her father. Moving down to number 9, Blair Underwood from Cameroon. Blair Ewin Underwood, born on August 25, 1964, is an American actor. He made his debut in the 1985 musical film Cruise Groove, and from 1987 to 1994 starred as Attorney Jonathan Rollins in the NBC legal drama series L.A. Law. His quest to find out where his family is from first sent him down south. While appearing on NBC's Who Do You Think You Are, Underwood discovered his people on his father's side are from Cameroon. He and his dad later on made a pilgrimage back home, a trip which he describes as an eye-opening and great experience. Blair has made it known that his lineage is something he is extremely proud of. And moving down to number 8, Idris Elba from Sierra Leone. Idrissa Akuna Elba Obe, born September 6, 1972, is an English actor, writer, producer, rapper, singer, songwriter, and DJ. He is known for roles including Stringer Bell in the HBO series The Wire, DCI, John Luther in the BBC One series Luther, Nelson Mandela in the biographical film Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom in 2013. He's been nominated several times for his outstanding performances. The actor was given citizenship in his native country on his first visit to Sierra Leone. Speaking to the BBC, he said, "The biggest honor I could ever get could come from home." And number 7, Ludacris from Gabon. Christopher Brown was born on September 11, 1977, better known by his stage name Ludacris. He's an American actor and rapper. He once celebrated Christmas and New Year in Gabon, and he is married to a Gabonese as well. Ludacris took to his Twitter and Facebook accounts confirming his mother and 2 daughters had also acquired the Gabonese passports. He further took to Instagram to declare his love for nostalgia. And number 6, Samuel L. Jackson from Gabon. He was born in December 21, 1948, and is an American actor and film producer. He has claimed numerous accolades in the world for his role in the Pulp Fiction. He was nominated as Best Supporting Actor. After taking a DNA test as part of a U.S. documentary series, Samuel found out that he was Gabonese. From then, he made frequent trips to his homeland right to the presidency, where he was further given the Gabonese citizenship and passport. And very interestingly, number 5, Oprah Winfrey, Liberia and Cameroon. Oprah Gail Winfrey, born in January 29, 1954, is an American talk show host, actress, TV producer, motivational speaker, and philanthropist. She's best known for her talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, broadcast from Chicago. She was the richest African American of the 20th century, dubbed the Queen of the Media and North America's first black multimillionaire. The billionaire media mogul found out on the show African American Lives that their ancestors traced back to different countries. These countries are Liberia and Cameroon, where she's said to be linked to the Bamileke Western Highland people. Though she's yet to get citizenship with any of these countries, but no one knows what the future holds. And moving on to number 4, Q-Tip from Guinea-Bissau. He was born on April 3, 1970, and he is an American rapper, recorder, producer, singer, actor, and DJ. Nicknamed The Abstract, he embarked on his musical career in the late 1980s, and in the mid-1990s, he co-founded the production team, The Oma. His DNA testing results revealed his ancestors from his mother's side hail from Guinea-Bissau, something he attributes in his music. And number 3, Anthony Anderson from Equatorial Guinea. He was born on October 5, 1970, and is an American actor, comedian, writer, and game show host. He was born and raised in California, but his DNA testing states he has traces to 2 African countries. Guess what? Cameroon again, and Equatorial Guinea. His DNA showed that he came from the Bubi people in Equatorial Guinea and from the Tika Hausa Fulani people of Cameroon. Though he is yet to visit either of these countries, but we are anxious to see which of these countries he nationalizes from first. In number 2, Erykah Badu from Cameroon. Erykah was born in February 26, 1971. She is an American singer, songwriter, record producer, and actress. After signing into Keda Entertainment, the singer and songwriter found out in 2015 that her heritage traced back from Cameroon. She decided to make a trip to the Central African nation to connect with her roots. Originating from the western highlands of the country, she met with some chiefs and locals during her stay here. And finally, wrapping up with number 1, Isaiah Washington from Sierra Leone. He was born on August 4, 1963, and is an American actor who has appeared in so many films. And in 2005 and 2007, he was main cast for The Grey's Anatomy and appeared on the show again in 2014. And in 2008, he received his Sierra Leonean citizenship, though he was born in Houston, Texas. And that concludes our package on Discovery today, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you had fun discovering your brothers and sisters of the other side. If you have something you would like for us to discover, then drop it on our social media sites, where we are streaming live on Facebook at Mamide Prime Television and Twitter and YouTube, same handle.
You're welcome back. So we can say we are claiming relationship on MALOKO, but it's a real, it's not fake, okay? Yeah. They can trace their roots back to so many African countries, and most of the celebrities that we featured on Discovery today have Cameroonian origin. So at least we have celebs, especially Oprah. At least I can say that yes, she has.
The most renowned one here that we all smiled. We all smiled. It was Oprah.
We all smiled at that, of course. Imagine who wouldn't want to have something to Oprah? Of course we should.
That was the richest black American ever. I mean, 5 consistent years. Can you imagine?
Imagine that.
So if she's Cameroonian, Mom,
Cameroonian origin.
So small.
It's part of it. Let's
Cameroonian origin, yes. Let's not just take the whole thing. Because we are just.
And remember, we don't accept dual nationalities.
Yeah. That's true. Anyway, no problem. At least we know that she is from our, I mean, when you follow her lineage, she's from us. So we can equally work hard and, become that kind of, we can make that level, Mom.
Of course. Why can't we? Meanwhile, before we welcome our very first set of guests on the program this afternoon, let's talk about this sad story that happened in a popular quarter in Yaoundé, Oudza. Yes, and it's about a Marine who allegedly murdered his wife in cold blood. In fact, he's trying not to say cold blood. He strangled her till death. So the story had trended, or is still trending on social media, and the story goes to a Marine officer is reported to have killed his wife after a quarrel. That is last Wednesday. Yes, last Wednesday night. And sources say they were quarreling and they went inside the room. All of a sudden, the noise began reducing and things like died down. Like apparently the children, because children were in the house, they thought that the quarrel had died down and maybe mommy and daddy had sorted out their issues. Whereas the woman had been strangled by her husband. Though persons were claiming that there was a gunshot, but the children say there was no gunshot at the end of the day. So officers and in fact men of law and order got to the scene after the children of the said lady had raised an alarm. It's a very troubling story, General Toxzik, and it's yet another one of domestic violence. Other details revealed by these children say their father has been violent for as long as he has been married to their mother. So it looks like it's one of those arguments or quarrels that escalated to something that they never thought would escalate. And they also explained that when the children got into the room, they found their father seated there and their mother lying down really cold and sure she had already given up the ghost. And they were like, daddy, you're not doing anything and stuff. And he got to the point where he started threatening the children. And the children had to run out of the house. Then they raised the alarm and agents of law and order had to storm the scene. And obviously, we're still to get other details, other key details of how it finally ended or how it's progressing.
Well,
but it also points out another case of a uniform officer thinking that as a result of the fact that he is a uniform officer, he can do something and get away with it, to the point where he's threatening his children and claiming like, nothing is going to be done to me, or I'll find my way out of it.
First of all, these people are first of all trained to kill, but on the other hand, to train to contain their anger. Being at war is not the same thing like being in the house. It should be, you should know how to treat your kids, your wife when you're in the house. Instead, I thought maybe these persons could be, instead of good morals, faith, because the schooling is to take care of people. As a uniform agent, you need to know how to protect your country, at the same time protect your family, which is even more closer to you. So if you get to a level where you have to instead be brutal because you are en homme tenu, et voilà, when I'm going to do something, they're not going to consider it. Come on, you're first of all a citizen of Cameroon, of a country that has laws, rules and regulations. You are equally a human being, so you cannot just get away with it. Why would you just feel you can get away with it and everything? And secondly, maybe the sitting there was trying to think of what he was supposed to do with the body, and maybe since the kids found out, he was like, panicking at the same time and would warn them.
Panicking, he sat there. Yeah, he sat there and he even told the children, based on the reports that we have gotten, he told the children, your mother is sleeping, she's resting. Sleeping how? Yes. How can she be sleeping?
I'm sure the posture will not qualify sleeping.
Of course, it wouldn't. General Toxzik, one of the reasons why we bring these stories, especially on Maloko, every Sunday, let's take a look at the scene once again, depicting
the recap.
Let's take a look at the scene, and especially the children crying. It's because many of us find ourselves in these kinds of relationships. You understand? Mm-hmm. We have these kinds of relationships every day, where you start dating someone. You guys are dating maybe for years, and then he pops the question, he's abusive while you guys are barely dating, you understand? He's abusive, and then you think that no, once you guys get married, he or she is going to change. You get married and the person becomes worse. And I don't know why we in our African context or in our African society don't encourage persons to break free from relationships no matter how abusive they are. No matter how abusive they are. So we need to encourage persons to understand that at the end of the day, it is good to be in a relationship. It's good to get married. It's good to have children. But if that relationship is threatening your life, if it is causing you to feel like at the end of the day your life is going to come to an end, you shouldn't date them. You should leave them. No matter how many kids you have, better walk out of the marriage, save yourself and take care of your children or show them love from a distance. Isn't that what is supposed to happen? Isn't that what we're supposed to encourage?
Lots of crazy stories happening, and well, we don't even understand why these things are happening. But let's just say we're living in a world where we're a world full of surprises, where anything can happen. But I'm sure that it's really not the best things to happen. Domestic violence has always been the order of the day, and at times the stories are so, science fiction that you feel it's not real. You just get to answer these questions by saying, nous sommes dans le monde, and it's really crazy. I don't want to feel that those watching Maloko are learning their lesson. On the other hand, they should know how to choose, because there's what we call courtship period too now.
Yes,
so
of course.
If you have to know who is at this period. And even though some of them hide, like you rightly said, would hide their character, maybe would want to portray when they are in the maybe in the wedding, or when they're wedded already. But let's just try.
The red flags will always be there. Many people have agreed that there are red flags. This die-hard mentality that we preach on a daily basis, I think we should start unpreaching them, if you can use that word. Let people feel free to know that it is okay. This same society that is constantly pushing people into marriages and relationships should be there to welcome them when that relationship or marriage has failed, so that they don't have to feel like, I need to sacrifice myself for my family, for my children, for the society, for the church. You know what they say. What is the church going to say? What will my parents say? What will my family say? And so on and so forth. You're better off alive than dead. We have our very first set of guests to welcome, but let's go on a quick jingle break before we do that. You're welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. You're on to Maloko on My Media Prime. Let's welcome the CEO of this cooking and delivery service, Nina Cuisine, Chef Ngassa Nina. You're welcome to Maloko.
Thank you very much for having me.
How are you doing this Sunday?
I'm very fine, thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you so much.
So General Toxzik is not a stranger to you, so I don't need to do any introduction.
No, he's not.
Okay, we have another very beautiful lady joining us on the program this afternoon, Feka Parchibell. She's a teacher as well as an activist. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and it is a pleasure to be here today.
Okay, so before we get into talking about the Nina Foundation and activities that are kick-starting, in fact, let me congratulate you first of all. That's a great initiative.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
We were talking earlier on about a story that happened in Oja, Yaoundé, where a Marine allegedly murdered his wife, in fact strangled her in the bedroom. And based on the details we got out of this particular story, they had been in that abusive relationship for as long as the marriage lasted, or maybe even before they got married. What is your take on this story?
Personally, I just believe we have a lot of pressure as women to be able to maintain a single status. You know, the society gives a lot of respect to the Mrs. title. Speaking out of experience,
okay.
You know, I'm a businesswoman, I get into places, but people just always expect that you're married.
No,
you know, they just expect like you're married. So when you're single, you know, or when you're not married, you know, it feels like you're lacking out on something. But I think this is the pressure that keeps women to be able to live in like bondage, because you cannot speak out. You're afraid if you speak out, you may end up being out of a man's house. You want to be there. You want to be a missus. It's really touching, because these are some of the things we are trying to stop. We are trying to make people to understand that it's okay to be unmarried, to be single. Mm-hmm. My mom always say there is no late age to get married. People get married at so bad. Find yourself and, you know, life first. You're dead, you're gone. The man will remarry. Really. Different women will raise your children when you had the opportunity to step out.
True.
But you know, what would you say about relating this with love now? Okay, finally you found a man and you love this person. Okay, you guys maybe have had a courtship period, and then finally he proposes to you and you guys are getting married, and maybe there's a worry, but because of love, you are still there.
You want to pull through.
Oh, coincidentally, Parchibell and I were just talking at the lounge,
okay.
And I was telling her out of experience, maybe about 10 years ago, and I'm a victim of an abusive relationship.
Right.
And I just told her, I said, there's something about abusive partners. They are highly manipulative. So it's not easy to break loose. That's the plain truth. So I don't really blame some of these women sometimes, because abusive men or abusive partners are very manipulative. When you want to leave, they become so vulnerable. They make you feel like their world is going to crash, and they give you all the promises, and they make you feel you have the capacity to change them. So you think you have an edge on them, but you don't. The next minute, the violence attacks, and then you're back to square one. Honestly, life has no duplicate. I will always advise somebody, put your life first. That's the simple truth.
What about you, Madam?
Like Nina rightly says, if we have to talk about the case in Oja, it's going to be embarrassing to people. I would say that lady committed suicide, because there is no way you can be in a relationship like that for 21 years. It's not like the violence started yesterday, no. She's been in it, she's lived it. So what stopped her from going? Now this just goes to the fact that most people, especially nowadays, get married for people, not even for themselves. Because if you're getting married for yourself and this marriage doesn't work, it is your choice. Just like you took the choice and the decision to get married, it is entirely your responsibility to walk out of that marriage. I walked out of mine, I'm still alive,
wow.
I'm doing good, without a man. So many people have survived, others have died. Any woman who wants to die in an abusive relationship, to me, is committed suicide.
Because you saw
the death coming. Like the children were testifying, the father had always said he was going to kill their mother. My own told me several times that he was going to kill me.
Wow.
Yes, at one way he got me beat with a machete, which means if I had stayed, he would have killed me.
Of course.
So I did not have to wait on anybody to tell me move. I had to move. Especially when we have children. If you want to watch over your children, you have to be alive to take care of these children, and not the other way around. So when it's working, it's working. When it's not working, it's not working. You're not there for somebody else. You're there for yourself.
Most definitely. You're there for yourself. You need to take care of yourself, take care of your children, take care of, in fact, be alive to enjoy your life at the end of the day. So let's now get to talk about the Ngassa Nina Foundation. Tell us all that there is to know about it.
All right, thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. The Ngassa Nina Foundation is a vision which I conceived many years ago, but we finally decided to act this year. When you have a vision, sometimes you lack direction. So it's been like a burden over the years. I always just like to inspire people, my story, my hustle. So whenever I have the opportunity to meet young people and I see them, they are confused, especially when their priorities are not in order, I feel that, that need to want to reach out using my experience or, just general advice as well. So, but late last year, we realized, I'm sure there's nobody in Cameroon who cannot say, we don't know what's happening with our youth. We realized that the youths, or let me say the students especially, are going out of hands. Their priorities are not in order, because I think sometime, is it November or October last year, I was driving and I saw a huge crowd at Lycée Deido, and I asked the bike man, qu'est-ce qui se passe? He said a student has stabbed another student. You go to the Lycée de Kribi, we all sat and we saw a video that surfaced online.
That one was really bad.
And then later on we saw another video come up from New Bell. You see another video of like 9 boys in a room practicing homosexuality. Infants from 7 till like 19 or 21 years. Crazy. And the stories didn't stop. You see a disciplinary master who is being accused of impregnating students. So it's not like these things are new, but we cannot see wrong and don't call it wrong. So when all these things began to happen, that was when I became restless. I became restless. I can remember when we decided to put together everything. I was like, every day we go on and we're like, wow, what's the society turning into? But I'm waiting for somebody to take an action like, what's happening? What are the disciplinary committees doing, Bird? I'm not seeing anything. We just cry and we say this generation is going astray and everything. Everybody goes back to their comfort zone and life goes on. So that was when I came up with the idea of Save the Next Generation, because I remember I spoke to some amazing ladies, Parchibell is inclusive, where like we cannot fold our hands and watch the youths just go astray.
Sure.
So Save the Next Generation is a project carried out by the Ngassa Nina Foundation with the objective is more of like, you know, individual personal development. You have obviously the women empowerment. I'm a woman.
Of course.
I've grown. Many people who know me on social media can spell my journey out for the past 7 years.
You always
from
tell us
Nina
that story.
small boys
Yes.
to this and this and that. So I've been that open person, and social media helped me to become who I am today. So I was like, okay, let's be able to put our voices out there. No matter what, those who will listen will listen. Those who would not listen would not listen, you understand?
But
It's about
reach
giving
out to
the youth the opportunity to be able to put their priorities in order. It's about giving the youth the opportunity to understand that they have a long future ahead of them. No need to hurry and crash today, when all these good things you're trying to rush to have today, you can experience and it will be yours tomorrow.
Definitely.
I just believe that they just need some good guidance, to be able to understand priorities. There is no time limit to success.
Of course.
They are rushing. Our parents used to say, when you rush, you will crash. You know. So that is all what it's all about. It's about personal development. It's about, we have our humanitarian activities we carry out as well. But I believe in the growth, individual growth, personal growth. And I believe, like, you know, if we have to have a wonderful society, it starts from the home.
Of course.
The youths today are the leaders of tomorrow. But if we have this kind of youths and we don't call them to order, then how would the society be like tomorrow? So that is basically what the Save the Next Generation is all about.
Okay.
Yeah, that is it.
So, what made you join the initiative? It's one thing to like something, it's another thing to say, okay, I'm going to be actively part of this journey. Is it because Nina is your friend, or?
I have been working with young people. I'm a teacher. I have worked with young people. I also have an organization.
So hold your mic closer.
I also run an organization, but my organization was limited just to the girl child.
Okay.
And the education of the girl child, menstrual hygiene management. So when these things came up and it had to do with school and young people, especially children, I did a few posts, and when I saw what she was about to do, when she contacted me, I bought her initiative. You know, everybody has his or her niche.
Of course.
Yes, mine is menstrual hygiene management, limited to the girl child. But again, we all worry about our children. We want a better tomorrow for the country. We are told the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. So if these children start going astray and we don't do anything about it, then there is something wrong. So since she came up with the initiative, I love the initiative, and I decided to join and give my own little quota to support the movement.
There are a lot of ladies here first of all. Me, I'm confused.
There are just three of us. We're scared.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I was just wondering, because we're talking about some initiative here. You know, it could be online, it could be physical. Are these services physical, or they are just online, maybe giving guides, or?
Okay, you know, it's one thing for you to say you want to do something and another to do it well.
Yeah.
So what we decided was, it's not online, basically. That is why we are here.
Of course, that's why you're here.
That's why we are here, first of all. And we have on our program a school campaign.
Okay.
Starting from Tuesday, we are seeking authorization in various universities. Our targets are the lycées, truly, although it's not really easy penetrating their administration. But we plan on doing a school tour to be able to meet the students. There may be something we are missing out on that we don't know.
There should be so many things, because
you know, they cannot be really doing such, and you know, they are proud of it and they see no remorse. And you have students going to school with daggers, with knives. Trust me, Faith, if you and I were in this classroom many years ago and then a fight broke out and somebody took a knife and
That's
stabbed you, you will not be sitting here today.
Yeah.
It means your future must have been stolen away from you. And that is what is happening. We want to meet the students. We want to ask them what is happening. But you know, we can identify some of these things. You understand? The youths have a lot of time in their hands. We all share the blame because as parents, parenting is not the way it used to be when we were growing up.
Totally different.
I told a friend of mine the other day, I said parenting has been pushed towards providing. You send your children to good schools, you buy them good food, they have the latest technology, they are very well civilized, and you think you're a good parent. Parenting should be intentional. Parchibell always uses the word, we should be intentional about the way we parent our children. You know, when we were young, honestly, Toxzik, you will not move with a child whose parents are not known by your parents.
Yes. Impossible.
If you look at the way we were growing,
That's true.
there's birthday party.
There was always that,
Yes.
You have to know, they have to know every detail.
Good.
Yes.
If they invite you for a birthday party, it should be your mother's friend's child or somebody in the church child or your father's colleague. Why were they doing that? They were ensuring that where their children go to, they can relate with the parents. They can vouch for the upbringing of that child interacting with their own children.
Yes.
But nowadays, we don't even know where our children make friends. On social media, look at the story which was on Nigerian tabloid. A young girl saw a job advert online, followed it, and she met her death.
Yes.
You see, that's how we meet people. That is how we meet people today. Who are your friends? Who are those who move with your children? Who are those who speak to your children? What are those things your children are attracted to? Are you even the role model to your own children?
Yeah.
Exactly. What a role model to your children. They copy these role models.
We say this every day here. You need to be like your kids. You
need to be the mirror for your children.
They should look at you and copy you.
The second problem we have is, you know, the social media.
Yeah.
You know, the internet is like I'll say it's like Pandora's box. It has come with the good,
the bad,
and the ugly. That's how the internet has come. And if you look at it, 90% of information gotten by the youth is from social media.
Yes.
It's from the internet. Many of them don't read the newspapers. They don't watch TV.
They don't even know how to use it.
Good. And what are they attracted to on social media? The high life, the pressure, the fakeness, the glitz and the glam. They fail to understand that some of those things are not true. Some of those things you don't know the background story, but that is what they see, that is what they are attracted to, and that is what they want to achieve now. You see, many of them are blinded. You see, so we know some of these causes, but it's good to also hear from them. Parchibell said during one of our meetings, we need to have a debate where we have children because there may be something we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, the times are changing. So as parents, we need to be keeping up. We need to keep up with them. We need to keep up with them. And then another point is, Faith, the youth have a lot of time in their hands. Trust me, every child needs a psychological and social and whatever balance. When we're young, we have FENASCO. Like I said, the government is not encouraging, you know, they don't have recreation. Recreation in Cameroon has been reduced to drinking and eating.
Exactly.
That's
true. No, it's true.
How many children read, go to the library? You see all these healthy hobbies. Dance competition, singing competition, national 11
February Youth Week used to be very interesting.
And you see, these children don't see any future in that because the government has not prioritized, you know, arts. If somebody has a beautiful voice, it doesn't really mean, because going to a singing competition, even if you come out first in the country, there is no reward.
Yeah, they can dance.
You see,
so out of the ordinary.
They lack recreation, the rightful educational recreation, which can help them, which can mold them. So what do they do with a lot of time on their hands? They see what is on the internet, they copy. They see what they can copy from here, they do, you know. So
it's really sad, and it shows that we need to do a lot of backpedaling. Like when I listen to you talk, it shows that there's a lot of work to be done. But the question I'm asking, especially to you who is a teacher, it's like, where did we really go wrong? What really happened to the point where we lost focus? Because it shows that it's not just the children.
No.
There's something wrong that happened with us, the parents, like she was trying to hint. There's something that happened with today's society that at some point it has gotten so bad. It's true that we had these cases, we had them, but were they this rampant? Were they this common?
Teachers, first of all, what parents have to know is that teachers are there for a purpose. They are there just to guide the children, attain the education, meet up with their educational needs. And teachers are not supposed to be parents of these children.
Exactly.
There are very few teachers who would take out time to want to know how these children are doing, be it at home, be it in their community or so. But parents have failed. There are parents who do not care if their children attend classes or not. For instance, I've been class mistress. So when I used to be class mistress, we take the register, and you see a child with like 40 hours of absences.
Wow.
And you're shocked. You're like, where is this child going to? That is you, the class mistress, who is worried. And then you expect that at the beginning of the next term, you expect to see the parent come to school to say, why is my child having this number of absences? But no, the parents will not come.
Sure.
They will not. And then if a child commits a crime in school, you, the teacher, you punish this child, the parents will come to fight you. Yes, the parents will come.
Where there was a teacher here that died in the hands of a parent.
Yes, the parents will come to fight you for disciplining their children. But the parents, what are they doing? What do? They badmouth the teachers in front of their children. They tell the children, don't worry about this teacher, this or that. So that way, the teachers have decided, they are afraid. They do not want to get into confrontations with the parents, so they want to teach and go. The teachers too, to an extent, to a bigger extent, are to blame for the moral decadence in school milieu.
Yeah.
Because I cannot imagine how, okay, I am 44, and then I'll be having sex with a 15-year-old child. That is my child. It is not somebody's child. It is my child who is under my care for 8 hours. And instead of concentrating on that child to see that the child is developing well within 8 hours, I am ruining that child. Because believe you me, teachers will ask their students out. And if this student refuses, you are like, your marks, you will not attend my class. They start punishing that child unnecessarily, keeping the child out of classroom, giving tests. Even if the child writes well, the child is bound to fail. That singular action traumatizes the child all through that academic year. And then the ones who give in to these teachers, what do they become? What do they become?
Because it never really stops.
It never stops. The moment you give in, it continues. Like I run gender clubs, and when I have meetings with these children, the testimonies, the stories they tell me, I am sick. It's really sickening. And sometimes you look at the colleagues and you're like, is this for real? And some of the administrators are so protective of their colleagues. And I want to blame the government. I want to call on the government of this country. There is a text that prohibits student-teacher relationship. So what stops the administrators from reporting their colleagues who are leading people's children astray? Yes. What stops the government from implementing this law that will cause teachers who derail people's innocent children to be arrested, locked up, and even removed from the public service?
Because we hear these stories. You hear that they've caught a teacher, they've caught a student doing this or that, and 2 weeks after, or even a week after, you don't hear about the story. There's no follow-up. You don't hear that.
At the end, you'll be shocked if in the course of this game, that poor student gets pregnant, the student will be expelled.
Yes, they will.
The student will be bound to stay at home while the teacher continues his job like it is no man's business. Yes. Now, this thing is not even limited only to the male teachers. There are female teachers who harass the male students as well. So what is the government, what is the law saying there is a text. Why can't this be implemented?
You remember there was a time when students who were involved in sexual acts in school had been expelled from their school, and Cameroon's Minister of Secondary Education, Dr. Paulina Nalova-Longia, said she's a mother. If we are sending these children out to the world, or we are expelling them from school, where do we expect them to get the correction that they need? And my question, that was, because many of us have different opinions, but the question I posed later on is, what is the concept of greater good? There's a concept of greater good.
True.
Do we sacrifice 5,000 students over 8, 11, or how many are there? Because it's not like these students did not know. Don't you send them back at home and put them in some different facility? We're supposed to have those facilities.
We don't have those.
That's
exactly where I was trying to.
Especially with the sexual sins in schools. If these students were sent out because of those sexual sins, I expected the minister to have investigated.
Very good point.
Because these students did not get up. There is somebody somewhere who is pushing these children to do what they are doing.
Get it to the
and
point.
if you get to the bottom of it, there will be teachers.
That's what I'm saying.
So the day the minister starts correcting the wrongs of these teachers, that day our schools would be.
We're getting to a point where I should equally tell maybe you ladies not only to limit to students, because at the minute you talked of university and I think we should equally have this initiative go right through the teachers, because it's equally something that they should have in their head, because some of them don't even know that maybe they are criminals.
They know,
and I think sometimes
they are adults. They
just feel
they are adults, and then they just feel like silence. You may not be directly involved in a crime, but you see that it is being consent.
Yes.
And if they say silence is consent,
I have a case where a student accused her math teacher for harassing her, and it was brought to the staff meeting, and the principal was like, "Not my colleague. This cannot be happening." Blah, 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 blah. And we left from that meeting. I had my club meeting, and then my Form 3 student comes and tells me, "Madam, I cannot go to this class because this teacher has said at 3 p.m. I should meet with him somewhere." And I go to see my principal, and my principal was like, "Even you, madam, how can you be supporting these children?" And I'm like, "Excuse me. How long are we going to lie? How long are we going to defend ourselves? How long are we going to accept to rubbish?" Because to me, that is madness. Why, if I were in your position, I would question this teacher in question. I would call for this teacher and call for this student, put the two of them together, and listen to the two of them, and take action. You cannot say that no child is mad to come and say that this teacher did this to me, or this teacher did that to me. There must be something.
Yes, somewhere. That is pointing to the fact that
our community, the community is to blame. For instance, when the first video came out and these children were arrested in Yaoundé, when they came to interview people, some fathers were like, "Yes, we saw these children. They were coming here every day." Oh, what did you do?
Yes.
As a father who has children, when we were growing up, we knew that anybody who was older than us was a parent, and they had the right to correct us. So what is happening to this generation?
Okay, let me just say something. You know, this, because when we talk about people shying away from speaking out, she just spoke about the community being responsible. In the years past, you know, be your sister's keeper. That was what the community was all about.
That is true.
Be your sister's keeper. But today, if you tell your neighbor your child did something bad in their absence, they'll either tell you to mind your business, or they think you're lying, or, you know, don't speak ill of my child. You know, we have deviated from, you know, that real essence of being our neighbor. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child, but nowadays it's not like that. No. Because when you say, you know, the principal is covering his teacher or something like that, it's the same way parents cover their children.
Yes.
The children are going sad just because they don't want to admit that the children are going through a phase. It is a phase which can be corrected. But they cover the children. Don't speak ill of my child. Or
focus on your own child. Is your own child better
mind
than
your
mine?
business. There's
Yes.
a lot of mind your business now. Good. When you try with some good intention to tell a neighbor, I saw your daughter doing so and so, and then you get a reproach. Next time you will mind your business.
Yes.
Because you will not want to go and say, and then you'll be embarrassed. So you see how complex and deep it is. Because if I'm trying to help a situation, or if a teacher speaks out against a colleague and gets expelled, the rest of the teachers will not have the courage to speak out again.
Exactly.
Because at least they need their job to be able to have their daily bread.
I personally think that all of this should equally, the greater share comes to the parent, because like she rightly said, if a child is well educated back at home and says this is wrong, this is not supposed to be done, this is what is supposed to be done, I think when it gets to a point where the teacher starts, acting the type with you, you're going to maybe correct that teacher or come back to your house and say, okay, this is what is happening. Just like the kid did to Madam here.
Yes.
Because some of us, we are not teaching our kids back at home to the level where they just feel like, okay, it is okay. Maybe the teacher says you're going to have a tick.
Yeah, we are carrying
you're going to have a tick because you maybe we're going to have sleep together or something. Then you just push because you're going to impress your family back at home. Or what your father wants or your mother wants, it's a tick.
Yeah, you see, we need to build that confidential relationship between the parent and the child. Because if you are gone are those days,
your friend.
Yes, gone are those days where some topics are like taboos.
Nah.
It is better for you to teach them than for them to learn the hard way from outside.
Yes, because they learn wrong information.
Okay, if you have a good relationship with your son, with your daughter, if something goes wrong and the child trusts you, the first person he will tell is you.
Definitely.
Let me tell you something that happened recently. Is it 2 weeks back? My 18-year-old daughter called me, Mommy, is it true that sex is sweet?
Wow.
I said, really? Where did you get that from? She said, my friends just told me this morning in school that sex is very, very sweet. And I took a deep breath. I was sitting with my friend and I screamed. And then I got hold of myself and then I told her, I said, well, I won't tell you a lie. Sex can be sweet, but as a child, it is not yet time for you to have sex. And I had a conversation with her. I think parents have to create that kind of situation, because if I didn't tell her at that moment the reality,
She needs a confirmation.
she would have gone
To try
to try. And this particular child, she has had this kind of challenges for a very long time. This same child is the same one who, when she was in Form 1, her friends said she must have a boyfriend. If not, they were going to arrange for people to rape her.
God forbid.
So I've just been asking myself, if I did not have a close relationship with her,
That's true.
what would have happened?
Her life would have
So parents who claim to be too busy to have the time to discuss with their children, what do they think they are doing to these children? Parenting has never been easy. There are parents who give in their all, who open up to these children and tell them their hearts, but the children still let the parents down. And that is where I still come back to the community. Because not everybody in the community is a monster. That child definitely has someone somewhere he or she is looking up to. So it is that person's responsibility to see that this little child is going astray. Let me help to bring this child to the right path.
Sure.
And if that person does it, that child will obviously come back to the house and say, hey, mommy, daddy, this thing that you told me about this
is the same thing
this other person has told me.
Sure.
So
the community has a role to
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
The teachers have a role to play. The educational institutions have a role
The
to play.
government.
the
The government has the role, a
Yes.
greater share to
Definitely.
play. Because we cannot keep counting these crimes and all these trends and then there are no penalties. there are no sanctions.
See,
You know, the
rigorous
children don't
penalties.
understand the dangers they are putting themselves into. That is why we are appealing even to the educational institutions. Open your doors for us. Let's be able to penetrate and talk with these
We
children.
need to save the next generation.
Yes, we really need to, because as a parent, we are busy today. We go to work at 6 a.m., we come back, we are tired, we kiss them good night, maybe we come to sleep. We are trying to provide the best education, best healthcare, but trust me, if the child doesn't grow up rightly, all what you labor in vain, because who is going to continue your legacy? If the child cannot even amount to anything tomorrow, what if the child is among those who have been caught up with drugs?
Yes.
Because that's another huge problem in school, the consumption of hard
They
drugs.
take these drugs to have the courage to do these things.
They have a lot of,
true.
you know, the consumption of hard drugs in school, it's alarming too.
Yes.
So I just feel, you know, the government is really being irresponsible to the... They keep saying, la jeunesse est le futur de demain. Every
they
youth
do
day, they'll
nothing.
bring us a message for la jeunesse.
Yeah.
But how are you people
do
making
they control
sure
it? How do they check
that
it?
these children are
Agree.
growing up to be leaders?
Yeah.
It's not just about being intellectually, you know, upright.
No.
You have to be morally upright. We have a society to protect. And that is why they say every action comes with responsibility, because you can't do something and expect to go scot-free if, you know, there are laws. Except the government wants to tell us we're in a lawless society.
There are laws,
You
but the
know,
laws are not being implemented.
they're
Let
not
us see
implemented.
persons used as an example. In fact, continuously.
We buy
Let's see
mobile
them.
phones, we give to the children. Before giving your child a mobile phone, before letting your child be on Facebook and social media,
parental-
have you educated your children on what these
The
platforms are all
repercussions.
about? The positive sides of these platforms, the negative sides of these platforms. But we just buy them phones. Thanks to COVID, e-learning.
Yes.
So every
What is
child
on the
of
internet?
every
It's a
age,
phone.
it's on the internet. The child can Google whatever imagination he or she comes up with. So it's the duty of the parent to be able to fashion the child to understand the timelines, the seasons. Okay, at this time in my life, you know, I can be able to assess this. This is not for me now. You know, there should be some kind of order
That
in the
is
society.
And our homes too. Our homes, most times, the people who actually ruin our children are not far away from us.
Exactly.
They live with us.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful
The
on
way.
who is with us at home. The children
The
have
uncles,
to...
the aunties, the nannies,
Yes.
the gate man,
Our homes.
the house girl.
Exactly. So we have to be very mindful of who we bring into our homes to live with these children. And again, we should create time for them. Parents should create time for their children.
All right, please
Okay, sorry.
sorry, I will not want to let me.
I also
Really, a quick one, because we really dwelled on morals here. I just want to ask, because when I hear Chef Nina, I see already entrepreneur, and I see creativity. So I just want to ask real quick. This initiative is equally moving to that guy too. Is equally talking of creativity and how to, you know, develop your business or something. So I hope so, because we need to train our kids.
You know,
activities of the foundation.
yes. For now, Save the Next Generation is like the first project.
Okay.
But we have projects which shall carry business, you know, entrepreneurship. That's what we call personal development and other things. You cannot separate me from entrepreneurship.
Definitely.
You know,
I know that. That's your signature.
So with time, we are going to, even when we meet the students, at least we'll be able to enlighten them
Career-wise.
career-wise.
Right.
We are not just going there only at the level of morale,
Perfect.
but at the level of career-wise. And thank you so much. And just to conclude, like we said, Ngassa Nina Foundation is about the youth. It's about personal development, empowering them. We have humanitarian activities. But for now, we are carrying out the Save the Next Generation campaign.
Project.
That's the first project. And we want to appeal on everybody. It's our responsibility to be able to leave this world and know that our children, our grandchildren are in a comfortable and respectable society. We cannot achieve that now if we fold our arms and we do not direct the youth rightly. So open your doors for us. We call on the government, the educational
schools.
institutions, you know, every walk of life. It's our responsibility to ensure that the youth are on track.
In schools that are interested and want us to come talk to their students, we're ready.
Okay.
Do not hesitate to contact us.
So what number, and maybe if we are already, I know we have a page, the Ngassa Nina Foundation has a page already, though you have your personal profile as well, but any form of contact that we can get to you.
We have, you can reach us on Facebook, the Ngassa Nina Foundation, or www.ngassaninafoundation.org, or you can call 67745-8646. So I will take it again, 67745-8646, or www.ngassaninafoundation.org. You can reach out to us, and we will be very, very happy and appreciate to hear from you.
Sponsors and partners, right?
Of course, of course. You know, like now we are doing this
it's a very new organization.
We are doing it out of our love, our hearts and everything, but you know, with time we need people to come in, people who can partner with us, you know, for sponsorship, to be able to, you know, enable us to pull through with our activities. It's not about me, it's not about Feka, it's not about Parchibell, it's not about Toxzik, it's about all our Cameroonian children. It's our responsibility.
Yeah. Thank you so very much, ladies. It was an awesome time spent.
Really amazing.
Despite the unpleasant things we have to talk about, but at the end of the day, it is our duty to save the next generation.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you. And I know you always open your doors for us.
Of course, anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, it's time for us to go on our Glamour page, ladies and gentlemen. Today on Glamour, Quintafon decided to let us know how we can look given our different shapes and sizes. So let's go.
Have you ever wondered what you should wear if you have a certain body shape? Well, learning to dress your body shape is a foundation of style that makes finding clothes that work for you 1,000 times easier. Once you learn to dress your body shape, it changes how you look, feel, and makes your shopping game easier. The most important thing in fashion is knowing your body shape. If you want to dress well and to impress, you need to keep in mind your body shape. As we know, fashion is all about balance, and if you don't dress in a way that flatters your body shape, you may never be happy with the clothes that you buy. Do you ever feel frustrated that you can't find anything that looks good on you? Like you try every item on but nothing looks right? Well, you really don't have to bother anymore, because on our Glamour page, we'll talk tips on how to slay an outfit for your body shape. The first thing you should have in mind is knowing your body shape. Truth is that we all have different shapes and sizes, but you can fit people into some general categories. These shapes range from triangle or pear shape, rectangle, inverted triangle, and eyeglass shape, etc., etc. If you have the pear or triangle shape, that is your hips and thighs wider than your shoulders and bust, with a defined waist that is narrow compared to your hips, you are always able to wear just anything. Here are some outfits for you. Next body shape we'll talk about is the rectangle body shape, and people with this form have straight hips and a straight body line with shoulders and hips roughly the same measurement with little waist definition. If you are in this category, these are some outfits for you. Having this body form is an added advantage, as it is similar to a dress form, therefore any cloth would look good on you. Let's talk about the inverted triangle body shape. If you have relatively broad shoulders and chest when compared to your hips and waist, you are in this category. In this case, you want outfits that will balance your broad shoulders, chest and back with the narrow lower body to create a balanced look. You might want to choose clothes that add curve to your hips and boots. With this shape, you need simple but gorgeous outfits. Last body shape for today is the eyeglass shape. Here your hips and shoulders are slightly the same and your waist is slim relative to the rest of your body. With this shape, wear fitted clothes that emphasize your shape, show off your curves, but avoid clothes that are too tight. Some tips for you: avoid oversized garments. Do not add extra volume to hips and shoulder. Avoid heavy prints around the chest area. Go for high-waisted skirts which are fitted at the hips. So if you are inspired to dress your body shape, here are some 4 additional tips for you. The first is understanding your body shape with measurements. That is, do not guess or assume. Next, identify which cloth work for you. Also, know why these shapes work for you. And last but not the least is learn how to put together outfits that flatter your body shape.
You're welcome back. Thank you so very much, Quinta, for choosing to make our ladies feel glamorous this afternoon. It's always important to put on clothes that flatter your body. But one very key thing, like Sango Edi tells us in his soundtrack, Ododi, we should understand that we all are beautiful, okay? Whether you're fat, you're tall, you're slim, you're short, whatever the case, love your body first, love yourself first, because you're beautiful just the way you are. Not Toxzik.
Yeah, they definitely have to give you do something, because some guys, you know, would want to say, oh, 6-pack guys are more swaggy. Well, they look at me, man.
I like teddy bears like
I don't swagged up. Yeah, you know. So every shape is beautiful. Every shape just needs, you know, the right dressing, and that's it.
So tonight, Toxzik, we have a very talented Cameroonian artist joining us on the program.
Boy, sure.
Yes, your boy. I know that you start with the show, but calm down a little. Calm down a little. He's one of the signees of Akumba Music, yes, and the record label to which Renew is signed, and he's doing marvelously well when it comes to giving us good music. We have so many questions to ask him today, because we feel like we're not consuming as much as we're supposed to be consuming from none other than Muss. You're welcome to Maloko.
Thank you, Faith.
Baneke.
Masayuka.
You look good.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So your boy, you guys can do that for 10
minutes. Respect.
So Muss, what have you been up to? What have you been doing? You don't know, you know.
Yeah, okay, I've been doing a lot of work on the ground because I've been signed to Akumba Music. It's been 2 years now, and most of the work I've been doing is been on the ground, and a lot of things have been happening. Part of the projects I've been working on the ground. General Toxzik and I.
Hold your mic closer.
Yeah, General Toxzik and I on the project.
Which I'm delighted for sure.
Yeah, so a lot of things are on the ground. So we just, I'm sure it's just a matter of timing, the right times.
It's been over a year. Which one is timing?
Yeah. I think the time is actually now, because unlike before, I never went out on shows and stuff, but lately I've been out. Yeah,
when I start speaking, Faith will say,
I understand. Calm down, you. The time is coming. But he has made a very pertinent point, because we know that when artists take a break, they take a break maybe to dig deep into their creative insights, and then once they have loaded themselves with as much as they want to load themselves, you start seeing them appear left, right, and center. And am I getting that right?
The thing is, as an artist, I started music as a soul artist, you get, and so soul music to some point it's not African. It's not African. Soul music is not African, and so I needed time to find my sound, to try to understand artist that I am, the sound that it's African, what can be commercialized. Okay. So being on the ground lately, or from the time being, I was struggling to find my sound. And when I discovered it, I had a conversation with my boss, like, okay, this is it. I'm sure that we can do this now, because it's not just about having a good voice. It's not about you need to find your sound. I think I found my sound, and that's why you're going to be seeing me a lot.
Yay. So Muss, you were not scared while you took a break. You were not like.
Well, if you
because
ask,
after the soundtrack, Travailler, like you know when an artist releases a song and people are like, damn, this is the artist. We need more of this, and then he goes back to maybe rest and redefine his art. It becomes really scary. Because we're like, if he's coming back, are we sure that he's really bouncing back the way he thinks he's bouncing back? Because it's Cameroonian audience. Sometimes, as if I had no the pick, no select.
Yeah. There was this issue of fear too, because it's a lot. You know, you've been out there and people are expecting to get from you, and then again, you I mean, I wasn't very satisfied with what Travailler actually was.
Okay.
A lot of people are so happy. A lot of people like the song. But I bet you the Muss who's coming is the next level. It's not like I'm bragging though.
Okay.
Faith, let me. I just wanna.
We know.
Many people always feel like an artist, doing, trying to gather momentum is like he's finished or he's scared or something. 2 years is, I think, signed under a level for 2 years is relatively still small. I start seeing that artist really becoming what he or she should become after 3 years, because there's a lot of work, there's a lot of underground work being done, the branding, the right choice, the right thing, yes. So that when he's bouncing out, when he's going out there, he should be ready to deliver from the shows, from this to that. Many people just get really, really excited about the fact that, okay, I've been signed and tomorrow they want to be on the video, they want to be on everybody.
And then
want to go to show.
Years after, not even years, months after, we can name some of those artists. So we have many of them.
Yes.
One record label, you are like all over the place. Then 6
I think
months
an
later,
artist has the right to be in a record
place.
level for almost a year without even having a video, because all these things are risks. You need to know the right video to make. You need to write the right song to choose. You need to. There are a lot of things. So I think I would like to congratulate Akoma Music for using this time to block
work
out
on him,
on Muss, because sincerely, I saw the time, and I think the time is now. This is the time when he needs. I think it's the right time.
Actually, it's just like you're signing up for a gym session, or you want to work out in a gym, and then the first time you get to the gym, a lot of people want to just go straight to the weight. You get now, once you get into the gym, a lot of people, everybody who enters a gym who wants to do bodybuild, most people, the first time they get into the gym, they just want to go to the weight. But now the coach will tell you, no, dude, you have about a week or two, no weight. You're just going to work
regular
cardio and everything like that. And so once you're good to go with the weight, then you go to the weights, you get to carry whatever weight you want to carry. But there's always this need to get your body and your muscles
ready for
the work you
That's
get.
true.
So you can just, I think that once I got signed, it was a good thing to try a song or two and then to test the grounds, and I discovered that I needed to be more than what I was when I got signed. So the time was for me to work my muscles and then get ready for the whole stuff. So
Muss, you were a year taking a break, working on yourself and all of that, but I'm sure totally and completely invested in the Cameroon music scene, watching what your fellow peers are doing, maybe the A-list artists are doing, and what the Cameroon industry, music industry, has constituted for the past 1 year. What would you say you've been able to pick, like learn from them or from the works that other persons have been doing while you were busy taking a break? Well,
I will say that the one thing I picked is gonna be from the omissions that I discovered.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about probably two things that I picked, but the first thing that I picked was an omission. I got to know a lot of songs, but never knew the artist officially.
Oh, okay.
You listen to a lot of songs and then you do not know the artist, you do not know the person. Yeah, I would not like to call names, but a lot of artists whose songs are everywhere, but the person in the street, nobody will even.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's true.
So when I discovered that, I was like, okay, this is something. I mean, I don't just want guys to know my songs. I want people to know me.
Oh,
yeah. So the one thing that I learned is and it's going to be applied is branding, image branding. Yeah, I want people to know my face first. Yeah, because my song is good, and then I don't want to be passing around and nobody's aware that I'm passing. So
Like, hey, Muss is passing.
yeah. So that's one thing. That's one thing. I mean, I want my image to be out there. Yeah, you see, it's the thing happening with Renew. You see, I think every week, at least, there's a new picture of a face on social
Like
media.
this is the lady calling you. You
So
should
this,
know
yeah,
her.
it's like everywhere. You get it. So there's nobody who's gonna be wondering, oh, who is this girl? They know her song. They need to know her face. And now the second thing that I learned is peculiarity with each of the artists. I can close my ears, and when I hear any song without the attacks on it, I'll know the artist. Yeah, I mean, everyone has been working on a lot of peculiarity. Mr. Leo, Salatiel, the local, and yeah, everybody has this uniqueness in them, and that's something that in the course of my 1 year, I was trying to figure out my own self, so that once I'm out there too, someone's gonna identify me for who I am.
Okay.
So those are the things. Not to talk a lot. The few things I actually observed.
Nice.
What are the projects now that we are expecting from you anytime soon?
Okay, we worked on a project together.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's in one of the stuff that we're doing. So I'll be coming up with a single. Yeah, I'll be coming up with a single or two, and then an EP.
Perfect.
Yeah, because the time
is now.
Yeah, the time I took to be quiet, and I did a lot of songs, a lot of work.
All right.
Like, yeah, so I'm sure a single or two, and then before the end of the year.
Like time frame when you say single or two?
Yeah, I'm dropping a song late this month, by the end of this month.
Hallelujah.
By the end of this
He hates mysterious.
I don't like to
So either the end of this month or early next month,
Okay,
yeah, I'm going to
alright.
drop a song. And so equally need to understand that there's a lot of strategy in all of this. You see, my colleague and in the label is having an album that's coming, so it's,
Black Girl Magic.
you need to be very tactical with everything that's happening. So you don't want to put a song out there and then throw it and just lose it. So it's a lot of strategy too. So at times when an artist is delaying, it's not all their fault.
They need to push
They
if
need
they are
to
in a
see,
later level with another person.
Yeah, they need to see, okay, what's happened, how can we do so that we will not waste any song, which song can come first. So that's probably what's delaying right now, but by the end of this month or early next month, I'll be releasing some, because the video is ready and everything is set.
Perfect.
No.
Oh, lost your calm down. What does the song title start with?
You must to know.
Well,
Just one letter.
There are two
Okay.
singles,
All
right? So I'm not the one who's gonna decide on which single is coming first. So right now I don't know which
Who's
one
now
I'm gonna
waiting?
tell you.
Mystery.
I don't understand.
This must be mysterious, friend. I'm telling you this thing down again. This must be mysterious. I don't need to tell you everything.
Well, I think that if I should tell you the title of the song, I'm gonna be jinxing it. Do you want me to jinx? I'm not sure Toxzik wants
Forget about
to
this
do
guy.
I'm always so afraid that artists need to be material. She's also wanting everything just on the platform.
This person as artist on this program is causing a lot of problems. You have forgotten that we are both. You are my co-host, so
I am not refused. I'm
get
just
the
trying to-
information from him.
Okay.
Not side with him.
Here we are. Okay.
Anyway.
Televiewers, this is me. I might have.
Let's leave that matter, okay? Anyway, so in your how do I say, in the projects that are coming, you're going to be releasing a single and then working on other stuff. Are we going to be having maybe any collaboration with your fellow label mates?
Yeah, a lot of people.
That would be mad.
Yeah, a lot of people are waiting, and when we got signed, I said that okay, this is it. The other night we were going for a Sabbath show, and then on Snap we just like, God created them and said go and sing, and then we were about to go and sing. I told myself that the song I'm going to do with you, the first song I'm going to do with you, should be the biggest song that we will do together.
Aww.
Because if it should be a miss, then nobody's going to be interested in
God
what
forbid.
these two will have to
You will
give
not.
them. You get it? So, and I thank God for the fact that we have a boss who is he's so gifted when it comes to sound, and he can tell you which sound is good. So I have a project with her, definitely. The video has been shot, everything is set.
Yeah, you see why it's good to ask good questions.
So
Juice is out.
you guys are gonna definitely have it. It's gonna be one of the biggest songs that Akuma Music will produce, and then one of the biggest collabos with Renew and myself. Now we don't want to be shouting about it. I'm equally on an album. There's a song I did with her on an album.
Wow.
So there, from henceforth, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of collabos with me.
Alright. You don't need to shout about it. That's why we are here. You do the shouting.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of collabos with Renew.
Okay. For other persons, other young persons looking straight into your camera, for other young persons who found themselves or who are finding themselves in a situation like yours, or who found themselves in a situation like yours where you needed to backpedal a little, take out some time, and they are asking themselves so many questions. They are skeptical, they are scared, they feel like maybe they'll lose it once they get there. But you're here, you're standing strong, and you're positive, and you're eager to go out there and shine as much as possible. What word do you have for them?
My song says travailler. I just want to tell anybody who is wanting to give up, it's not easy, I swear. It's not easy at all. Like, really, if you want to give up, I would say give up, because we are in the battlefront, and then you need to fight. If you think that giving up is the best thing to do, you should. But I swear it's not the best thing, because at the end of the day, once you give up, you're going to be finding yourself with lots of regrets. So why not just be patient with yourself, work out on yourself, and be a better person, be a better version of yourself. Understand yourself, know who you are, get to understand the situation, what's happening, why am I delaying, what's wrong with me, you get it? So once you figure out yourself, and then you're okay with the things that are real, the things that are happening, and then you want to sort them out, you sort them out. But patience, they say, is a virtue. So you just have to be patient with everything that's happening, and at the end of the tunnel, there's definitely was going to be a light. Yeah.
Always. Thank you so very much, Muss. You've spoken so wisely. So remind us a little bit about the name on social media, especially for the ladies. You don't have any lady, right? Or you do?
Well, the name is on Facebook. My account is Tatanga.
Okay.
Yeah, Feed Tata Tatanga, something like that.
I see you.
Please. Oh, mind your business.
Tatanga Facebook account. On my Facebook page is Muss. Yeah. Instagram Muss Official, Twitter Muss Official. I think that's more like it.
You should join TikTok so that will be
yeah, on TikTok too. TikTok Muss Official. Yeah, just that I use it, so.
Alright, thank you so very much, Muss, and we hope that when those projects are finally brought to the light of day, you're going to join us again once more.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pleasure.
So to round up the show, to reminisce about the soundtrack that got so many of us to love you and vibe with you, we'll join you on stage to do the performing together. Travailler together. Yes. So let's quickly go on the jingle break, and when we come back, Muss will be performing for us Travailler while we all vibe together. Stay with us.
Yeah.
Va passer, les choses vont changer, tu vas avancer, mon laé. Travailler, toute la journée travailler, fatigué, tu es vraiment fatigué. Va manger, tu n'arrives pas à manger, tu es dépassé. Tu veux seulement tout laisser. Hustle on, no they give up, brother, hustle on. Try on, no they lose faith, this is the try on. T'es un guerrier, ah oui t'es un guerrier. T'es un guerrier, oh. Le temps va passer, les choses vont changer, tu vas avancer. Mon laé, le temps va passer, les choses vont changer, tu vas avancer. Mon laé, pousser mets la calme, pousser mets la calme, pousser mets la calme, pousser mets la calme, make you travel where the hunger. Enemies put us under. Make you travel where the hunger. When la vie start to change, fall down on my way. Everything now by your grace, oh. Everybody wants to be house, big car, big mansion. Everybody wants to be house, big car, big mansion. Everybody wants to be house, big car, big mansion. Everybody prays for big house, big car, big mansion. Le temps va passer, les choses vont changer, tu vas avancer. Mon lavé, le temps va passer, les choses vont changer, tu vas avancer. Mon lavé, pousser mets la calme, pousser mets la calme, pousser mets la calme, pousser mets la You know when we sing this song, we sing for the people. KK on this too, you know. They're making a song on midnight, and we hope that the people feel it too, and they feel good when they hear our voice and that song.
You're welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. I always have issues when we are done performing. It's like I'm one of the dancers. I have to catch my breath. But it was beautiful having
we
Muss
always
with
have
us here.
super performers here, so that's the essence of MALOKO, and that's why we always ask people to always stay tuned, because they always have something to dance, to listen to.
Of course, but it's been a long time coming. We had missed him so much.
Yeah, sure.
It was only normal that he comes back. So, Jonathan, so let's take as viewers to Boya. This incident happened in Sandpit, and it's really, really sad. Of this child, she's 7 years of age, and she went missing. And by the time she was discovered, parts of her body had been taken off. That is her private part, her legs, and what else? I can't quite remember. It happened in Sandpit. And I think that's like a week plus ago. She went missing for a week, and by the time they found her somewhere around the neighborhood in the bushes, and her body parts, like, we got the images from a popular Cameroonian blog, Better Things. Yes, it happened in Sandpit, and by the time she was found, those are elements of law and order going through the bushes where her corpse had been sadly deposited.
Rituals. This one is definitely, what would a kid of 7 years old do to somebody for her to be murdered? It's definitely rituals. They would need it for rituals, and as you know, the world has turned into a money test. I don't know how I should put it. People search innocent kids just because maybe they should be virgins, so I don't know how to put this thing.
I'm sure the child in question was maybe just playing around with her friends and all of that.
I'm even short of words. You see me even panting. I don't even know what to say here. For a kid who needs to live, a kid who needs to grow, 7 years, maybe a mother, a father have taken care of their kids right up till 7, and they have wishes for their kids. They see
Imagine
the future
a
and
child
everything.
being gruesomely murdered like that.
You just come, you get that kid and just murder, and come on, it's hallelujah, Lord, just
So
talk to these people. I don't know.
we have to, and I can only pray that God gets to comfort the family
Sincerely.
of this child, like the mother, the father, whosoever, those that are close to this child.
It's crazy.
That the
Faith.
family receives the comfort that they need, and we pray with every last word of prayer that we can have, that the perpetrators are found and are punished. But for those of us who still have our kids running around us who have not been victim to this, please, mommy and daddy, you need to be extra watchful. Times are evil to the core. Like, there is nothing good about this world anymore. Okay, let me not sound like a sadist. Okay, we still have good people and we still have good things happening. But in essence, what we're trying to say is you need to be extra vigilant. Okay, back in the days, our parents used to let us play and wander off to one auntie that stays maybe 100 francs away from home. You can start playing in your father or your mother's compound, and 30 minutes later, you're playing in another neighbor's compound right in our Toxzik. But today, mommy and daddy cancel it. It doesn't work like that anymore. And especially when we are in the quarter where we have bushes and areas that are close, right? You shouldn't let your children wander off too far. You don't know where somebody can lure them with sweet biscuit whatsoever and just drag them into the bushes. It's wrong. It's really, really bad. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just trying to say, like Nina was saying here some minutes ago, that back in the days we used to, always associate with people that our parents would know. Mm-hmm. So I think we should try to implement this, and by actually trying to educate our kids too, not to follow people because they are luring them with maybe chocolate or bread or
That's
I don't
true.
know, because
your children, tell them not
crazy.
to receive gifts from anybody.
Yes, they shouldn't follow any kind of person, please.
That
kids.
is true, and you can only ensure that when you feed your children properly. Give them these things, or try your best to provide for them those necessary things. Your child should not constantly be visiting a neighbor or whosoever because they cook rice in that house or because they cook chicken. It's true that on a daily you cannot provide all those things. Let's talk about those struggling families. But you need to instill in your kids morals that ensures that they are satisfied with what they have, or that they know that someday they are going to have theirs. So from time to time, make these things common. Cook their favorite meal. Give them that sweet that they have been craving for, that biscuit they have been craving for. Let them know that, okay, my own may not come today, but mommy and daddy always ensure that I have those. Mm-hmm. Remember when they used to catch, there was a lot of child trafficking. Yeah, minute and minute we've heard that they've caught a child this way, they've cut off the hand, they've cut off the leg, and we're having these cases come up again. Please.
Like what we had last week with the kids that were used for sex abuse and the prostitution and the rest. I mean, every day these things come up. So
and they are made to consume hard drugs. You can think about how much work is needed to be done with children like that whose mindsets have already been tampered with. Mm-hmm. How do we start by healing them mentally or making them understand that they have not lost their innocence, because clearly they have.
They really
have. So we are hoping that parents make sure that they keep their children as safe as possible. Let's talk about this Shakira issue. Let's laugh a little before we round up the program. Some time back, Shakira and his friend Patricia were arrested on basis of acts of homosexuality. Yeah, they have been taken to court and they've been sentenced to 5 years of imprisonment, and I think the fine is 200,000 francs. Cameroonians are saying that this is misplaced priority, and Cameroonians are also saying that based on international reactions, like for instance, the U.S. Embassy has reacted. I think other foreign organizations have reacted and are saying that it is wrong what the Cameroonian government is doing, and so on and so forth. But the issue is we know that it is illegal in Cameroon. What is your...
No, we go by the law. We go by the law. If they have to react, they should react with the law and not by what what has actually happened to these persons, okay?
They committed a crime.
It's a crime.
Caught in the act. It's a crime according to the law of Cameroon.
It's a crime, and that's it. We don't need to go left or right, beat around the bush. If they want to start counteracting, they should start by the law. Maybe
and they should start by some other important issues, like people are saying. We have an Anglophone crisis there that we have been hoping for the international community to do something, and nothing is done.
I think they have fairly judged these guys, and that's it. We should not be going around and be crying, for nothing. We've got other important things we need to think about. Let's take this and shift it aside. They have been judged, and that is it. When they come out, maybe they will have to, if they want to continue, they should go to another country
Where the law permits.
The law would permit that,
Permit
but not
that.
in Cameroon for now, because I think justice says this is what we're supposed to do.
Yes, and like we're saying, me like a fellow Caribbean, one who has definitely, there are so many things that we may not necessarily have to react on, okay, or say what we think deeply in our hearts of hearts.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that we would love for the international community to throw their weight to issues that are much more important. Not that they shouldn't talk about, they have their opinions. Like, help us, be there when we really, really need you. Than shy away from these issues, and then when it's time to talk about Shakira and his friend Patricia, you're the very first people to do so. So hopefully either ways, well, they have to still serve their jail term, whether they like it or not. That's what the law in Cameroon says, and may they stay safe, okay? Because even as a prisoner, you're still a human being. Even as a homosexual or whatsoever, you're still a human being, and you need to be still taken care of while you're in prison. We don't want people's children to go to prison, and then the next minute we hear that due to the conditions of the prison cells and all of that, they have died, and no, God forbid. Let them serve their jail term, and they should be treated the way the law says they should be treated. So, General Toxzik, it's been a fun-filled Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of advices, the ladies here, the music by Muss, the comeback. I mean, it has been amazing.
It's been a good Sunday. We're hoping that we transmitted the energy and the vibe that is needed for you to relax on a Sunday and also get ready for the new week that is to come. So we're wishing you just the very best, and we're trying to let you know that if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the rebroadcast tomorrow at 3 p.m. or you can head on back to Facebook where we're streaming live. The page name is My Media Prime, that you can find on the Media TV, and join us again next Sunday at some 2:30 p.m. from our studios right here at Fon Goudron Bangé. From General Toxzik and myself, it's all peace and love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye-bye. See you next Sunday.
Bienvenue dans un nouveau monde de la télévision. My Media Prime. Information, découverte, culture, sport, divertissement. Une chaîne du groupe BT Media avec pour slogan The African Eye. My Media Prime TV, c'est 80% de contenu en langue anglaise et 20% en français, 24 heures sur 24. Diffusé sur satellite, câble et en streaming. Soyez de nôtres. My Media Prime TV, The African Eye.